Have you ever considered why society places so much emphasis on the concept of virginity? This question sets the stage for an exploration into the societal perceptions of virginity. Virginity, a term often associated with purity, innocence, and sometimes even honor, has an extensive historical and cultural significance. It's interesting to note how this concept has been shaped and reshaped over centuries. In the past, virginity was often linked to the prestige of families, especially in patriarchal societies. A woman's virginity was seen as a testament to her family's honor, and losing it before marriage was considered disgraceful. This perception, though less prevalent today, still lingers in some societies, influencing individual attitudes and behaviors. Moving across the globe, we find societies with contrasting views. In certain cultures, virginity is not ascribed such weight. These societies tend to place more emphasis on individual autonomy and personal growth rather than on an individual's sexual history. Yet, even in these societies, the concept of virginity is not entirely dismissed. It's just viewed from a different lens. A closer look at the societal perceptions of virginity also reveals the gender bias that often comes into play. Women are typically subjected to stricter standards and scrutiny about their virginity compared to men. This double standard reflects the deeply ingrained gender stereotypes that exist in many societies. The influence of religion also cannot be overlooked when discussing societal perceptions of virginity. Many religions attribute spiritual significance to virginity, encouraging followers to preserve it until marriage. This religious influence often shapes societal attitudes both consciously and subconsciously. In the digital age, the concept of virginity continues to evolve. The internet and social media have opened up new platforms for discussions, challenging traditional perceptions and norms. The dialogue around virginity is becoming more nuanced, with people around the world sharing their diverse experiences and perspectives. Thus, society's perceptions of virginity are diverse and deeply rooted, but are they always accurate? This question prompts us to reflect on the perceptions we've been conditioned to believe and invites us to engage in deeper conversations about the concept of virginity. One common misconception is that virginity is a physical condition, often associated with the hymen in women. Let's dive into this myth and see why it doesn't hold water. The hymen, a thin membrane that partially covers the entrance to the vagina, is often thought to be the physical proof of virginity. However, biology tells us a different story. The hymen can vary greatly in shape, size, and thickness from person to person. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Moreover, the hymen can be stretched or torn due to a variety of activities that have nothing to do with sexual intercourse. Gymnastics, horse riding, or even using a tampon can cause changes to the hymen. So, the presence or condition of the hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity. Now let's extend this idea to men. It's even more apparent that virginity cannot be a physical condition. There's no biological structure in men that changes or disappears after first-time sexual intercourse. Nothing that can be checked or measured in a physical sense. But, if virginity is not physical, then what is it? Virginity is more of a societal construct, a concept that varies from culture to culture, person to person. It's often associated with the first time one has sexual intercourse. But even this definition is subjective, as what constitutes as sexual intercourse can differ greatly among individuals. It's important to remember that virginity is not a medical or biological term. Doctors don't diagnose people as virgins or non-virgins. It's a personal concept. It's something you define for yourself based on your beliefs, experiences, and personal understanding. It's also crucial to understand that the value or worth of a person is not determined by their virginity status. Everyone has the right to make decisions about their body and sexuality without fear of judgment or stigma. Therefore, virginity is not a physical condition, but rather a personal and subjective concept. Another widely held belief is that losing virginity is always a painful experience. This idea, while prevalent, is not entirely accurate. It's crucial to understand that discomfort or pain during the first sexual encounter can be influenced by a number of factors, and it's not a given for everyone. One such factor could be nervousness. It's entirely normal to feel a bit anxious or tense when you're about to have sex for the first time, and this tension can sometimes lead to physical discomfort. But remember, it's completely okay to feel nervous. Just breathe, take your time, and communicate with your partner. Another factor could be lack of arousal. The human body has its own set of mechanisms to prepare for sexual activity. In women, for example, arousal leads to natural lubrication, which is essential for comfortable intercourse. If there's insufficient arousal, there might be discomfort. So, it's important to ensure that both parties are sufficiently aroused before engaging in the act. Medical conditions could also play a role. Some individuals might have medical conditions that can make intercourse painful. Conditions such as vaginismus, where there's involuntary contraction of the muscles around the vagina, can cause discomfort during sex. If you experience persistent pain during intercourse, it might be a good idea to consult a healthcare professional. But here's the key takeaway. With proper understanding, communication, and preparation, losing your virginity does not have to be a painful experience. It's about understanding your body, what makes you comfortable, and what doesn't. It's about ensuring that there's consent, respect, and care between you and your partner. So if you're worried about pain, talk to your partner, take your time, and make sure you're both ready. And remember, it's perfectly okay to seek advice from a trusted adult or a healthcare professional. They can provide you with the information and support you need to make your first sexual experience a positive one. So the notion that losing virginity must be painful is not necessarily true. It's a deeply personal experience that varies greatly from person to person, and it's important to approach it with understanding, patience, and care. Many people believe that virginity is a moral issue, and that maintaining it signifies purity or virtue. This statement, while commonly held, is not without its controversies and complexities. When virginity is moralized, it often leads to problematic behaviors such as slut-shaming and victim-blaming. This mindset paints a picture that virginity is a prized possession to be guarded, and those who lose it before a socially acceptable time or context are often stigmatized or shamed. This kind of thinking can be damaging, creating harmful stereotypes and perpetuating a culture of blame and shame. Moreover, the moralization of virginity can also lead to an unhealthy focus on the physical aspect of virginity, rather than the emotional and psychological implications of engaging in a sexual relationship. It can obscure the fact that the decision to have sex should be based on personal readiness, mutual consent, and a deep understanding of the consequences and responsibilities involved. Let's shift the conversation from virginity and morality to consent, respect, and mutual understanding. Consent is about agreeing to participate in any sexual activity, and it is a fundamental human right. It is crucial that both parties are fully aware and comfortable with the situation. Respect, on the other hand, is about acknowledging the other person's feelings, desires, boundaries, and their right to say no at any point. Mutual understanding is the bridge between consent and respect. It is about clear communication, empathy, and the recognition of the other person's autonomy. It ensures that both parties are on the same page and that their physical and emotional well-being are prioritized. These elements, consent, respect, and mutual understanding, should be the cornerstone of any sexual relationship. They should be the guiding principles rather than the state of one's virginity. Virginity does not define a person's character, morality, or worth. It is not a badge of honor or a marker of shame. Thus, virginity is not a measure of a person's morality or worth. It is a personal matter, and the decision to engage in sexual activity should always be made with care, understanding, and respect. We've debunked several myths about virginity today. In our journey through this complex topic, we've peeled back the layers of societal perceptions, looking beyond the surface to uncover truth and dispel misconceptions. We've journeyed together through the labyrinth of virginity and emerged with a clearer, more nuanced understanding of what it truly means. We began by discussing societal perceptions of virginity, highlighting the myriad ways in which society can influence our thoughts and beliefs about this subject. We tackled the deeply ingrained notion that virginity is purely physical, a concept often wrapped up in antiquated ideas surrounding purity and worth. We then delved into the myth that losing one's virginity is invariably painful, a belief that can perpetuate fear and anxiety around sexual experiences. We emphasized that everyone's experience is unique and personal, and that discomfort or pain is not a given. We also addressed the misconception that virginity is a moral issue. We've seen how this belief can lead to judgment and shame, reinforcing harmful stereotypes and stigmas. We underscored that virginity is not a measure of one's morality or value. Indeed, throughout our exploration, one key theme has emerged. Virginity is a personal and subjective concept. It is not solely a physical condition, nor is it a universal experience marked by pain or discomfort. It is not a moral litmus test, nor a determinant of one's worth. It is a deeply personal aspect of one's identity, rooted in individual beliefs, experiences, and choices. As we wrap up our discussion, let's remember, virginity is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's time we moved away from rigid definitions and outdated beliefs, and towards a more inclusive, empathetic understanding. In conclusion, it's time we moved past these misconceptions and started having more open, honest conversations about virginity and sexual health. Let's continue to challenge and question, to learn and grow, and to forge a new path forward, one marked by understanding, respect, and compassion.